All right, everybody, going to be doing a live recording of the Engineering Emotions Energy podcast. Today's topic is going to be handling holiday overwhelm. So I'm going to get my recording software going here, and we'll get the show going here. So we're gonna see how this works because first time live streaming to YouTube and Facebook and doing the recording at the same time. But I really, wanted to get this topic of handling holiday overwhelm taken care of and out to you guys because we're not too far away from Christmas and then New Year's. So we're gonna get the show started. Let's see how this works. All right, hitting record now. Welcome to the Engineering Emotions Energy Podcast. I'm your host, Justin Wink. Today, we're going to help you get relaxed, energized, and feel more passionate, especially for the holidays. Today's topic, handling holiday overwhelm, which is something that I have been feeling quite a lot, especially over the past month, because the things that I have been up to, I have had to question a lot of traditions, a lot of holiday musts, and I know many of you might be thinking, hey, some things are good, some things are post-pandemic, and in some ways we can do exactly maybe what we did pre-pandemic, yet the question might be, do you actually want to anymore? Maybe there were some benefits to not being able to get together with some of the people Christmas 2020, and now that there's a lot more action, a lot more activities. It's like, oh my gosh, do I have to do the cookies? Do I have to get the gifts? Do I have to go to the parties? Do I have to create the parties? Do I have to do the Christmas cards? Do I have to go travel to visit these relatives? Do I have to do multiple Christmases if I'm in a relationship? Or do I have to find something if I'm not in a relationship? And we're going to be going into the basic answers. No, if all of that is leading you to overwhelm, which is a feeling where you're maybe feeling anxious or you're just like, oh my gosh, I can't handle it anymore, or there's too much. I just want to drop out and do nothing, or I want to numb myself by just overeating, over drinking, maybe doing some other drugs that in more and more states is becoming legal. Whatever it is, if that's the answer, if that's the feeling, then stop it. Stop it. You're like, what? Can't stop it. These are things, these are traditions. Well, created by who, at what time, and for what reason? So a lot of these things, a lot of these reasons we have to think of, back at the time, probably when they came about. What was winter like? I don't know, even just 100 years ago or 200 years ago, what was going on in winter, right? Fuck all. There was nothing going on. There wasn't a lot of light. There wasn't a lot to do because it was too cold to do anything, so there was a lot of boredom, and so, like, yeah, let's get through that winter boredom where there's nothing to do by let's just do some activities that are fun. Let's, light some stuff up. Let's, get together and what, little food we have, let's make the most of it by doing something special with it, and let's show each other we care because we have the time, and let's get some gifts. Let's brighten each other's day. Let's, create some joy. Let's create some excitement. Let's share the love we have for each other in what was then probably a very cold, dark time. Yet times have changed. We have lights. Not all of us are somewhere where it is cold and, the days are short. Some people are living further south where it doesn't matter time of year that, Costa Rica, one of my favorite places, is basically sunrise at 6 a.m., sunset at 6 p.m. Doesn't matter what time of year. Plenty of sunshine, no matter what. So it's good to me. Let's question. Let's go back to the essence of what is this all about. And I've been, having to really dig deep because I've been really, experiencing stress, and I have to really check myself and redouble on my practices so that I can stay calm, so that I can stay present, so that I can make the best decisions, for myself, and all while treating those I come in contact with kindness and love and respect. And some of that ends up being that, out of kindness, out of love, no, I will not be making it to your event this year, or I will not be meeting up with you. That just doesn't work for me. and more, I'm learning I don't always have to give a reason. I can just say no. So, like, I've been selling my house for the past, the process has been going on for over 40 days. I know that because I've been in a 45-day escrow, which closes in about five more days, just a couple days after Christmas. So it has been a roller coaster with getting a lot of the approvals required to get that done, and then going back and forth with the buyer and figuring out what to do with a house full of stuff when I I no longer I no longer need a house full of stuff. I have been in a, large, 4 bedroom, 3 bathroom, completely furnished, so that, 12 people more could be eating and drinking all at the same time. And, I've downsized significantly, with the divorce and with moving. It's pretty much just me and, you know, uh, starting to have some really amazing friends and some other, really amazing people in my life that I spend it with, yet, I don't have a large place that I need to furnish or have. I can go over to somebody's house or meet somewhere at a restaurant, and, I'm technically between places to live. Wrapping things up at my house, yet when, it's gone, I'll, be staying with, a real good, friend, and, looking for other places to stay. Just kind of seeing where I want to settle, what feels good, instead of just doing what I've been doing or what I think people want to see from me. Because I was talking to a friend earlier today, and he's kind of maybe where I was, not several months ago, or where he's somewhere that he doesn't want to be, and he's starting to have a really good idea that he's like, "Oh, man, I've been in Arizona, I'm thinking of moving to California." I know some of you are like, "What? That's bass backwards, like, you're supposed to wanna leave California and go to places like Arizona and Texas and Idaho, right?" Um, and I'm actually going, from inland California out to more Bay Area California. So I'm going backwards, and I'm gonna tell you, if you're listening to this, it might sound strange, but it's probably gonna resonate with you. But if you're a listener to this show, if you're watching this, because we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook now, you are not one to do what everyone else does. And so if people are going left, you might have a strong urge to go right. If or people are going up and you might want to go down, follow that instinct. There is a lot of wisdom there. And because a lot of what most people are doing is, there's not a lot of wisdom and there's not a lot of thought. It's just kind of following whatever's been said, either in the media now or just because that's the way it's been done for years and years and years. And if been working for 100 years, then why wouldn't it work now? And, I'm a big believer, if it doesn't look like it's working, doesn't feel like it's working, time to do it. Doesn't matter if it has worked, because the honest truth is, if you don't like where you are now and you wanna be somewhere else, what got you to where you are now isn't gonna get you to where you wanna be. So you're gonna have to do something different to be someone different, to have something different. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just kinda how it is. And the more that you can recognize that there's nothing wrong with you, that you are good enough, you are worthy enough to go the direction that you want to go, that you don't have to do something just because everyone else says it's okay. That's really what matters. And so my friend was having a real hard time coming to terms with, like, he knows what he wants to do, but he's like, I'm gonna feel really ashamed if I, follow my heart. Because, it's like I made one decision, and I'm gonna have to in some way maybe admit that I wanna make a different decision. And, talking it out, and it's just kinda like, if, the people you care about can't respect you enough to, accept that you might change your mind, or you might decide to do something differently and not embrace you or be proud of you for that. Are those really people you want to, care about their opinion? Are those people that you want to be living your life for? If they want you to do something that makes you unhappy, that makes you unwell, because he's having some physical ailments that he didn't have when he was living elsewhere. And even he was able to just go to on a trip out of state, and he was like, I'm feeling so much better. My ears are more clear. My skin's better. My hair's getting better. And he goes back to where he's been living in Arizona. And he's like, oh, it's back again. Ugh. Um, and to me, I'm like, nope, that's not someone I would care to be around. Um, and yeah, so sometimes some relationships might, go their separate ways. It doesn't have to be anything harsh, doesn't have to be an argument. Sometimes it can just be oh, no, thank you, not going to make it. And then maybe there's just not much contact, and that's okay. Other times there could be a little bit more, some words involved. So let me go over some things that I don't do that a lot of people think you're supposed to do. So, a lot of times for quite a while, I don't go visit my family for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. Um, it's been many, many, many years. It's just, there's usually been other things that I would rather do with that time off than go spend it with, people that I have blood relations to. I love them, just there's just other things I'd rather do. And was this a challenge the first time? Absolutely. Um, but kinda once got over it, it felt really good. And then the next time, not as much challenge, felt really even better. Also not gonna do Christmas cards this year 'cause, yeah, I don't I've got a lot going on. I gotta figure out my own address where, I will be, which I do have figured out. So if you do wanna send me a Christmas card, feel free to, message me, "Dear Justin, I'd like to send you a Christmas card. What's your address?" I have an address now for you. So I do have that handled. Um, yeah, just, I don't know what I'd put on the Christmas card, 'cause I noticed just by talking to people, and, "Hey, yeah, what happened this year? Got divorced, sold the house, don't have the dog, don't have the cat." So all those previous Christmas cards, yeah, it's a very different situation. But, my really good friends, they go, "Congratulations." They're super happy for me. Most other people, they get bummed the fuck out when I tell them that, um, which is fine. They're able to have their judgment. It's their judgment. And I'm able to, do what I do. They do what they do, and maybe we don't spend as much time as maybe used to. Because just like there's seasons as part of the year, there's seasons to life. And I did my, married, living in a suburban house, season of my life. Now it's on to a different season, and I'm excited, just like when winter turns to spring, I get really excited about the blossoming of new beauty, of new animals getting together and creating the next generation of possibility and all that stuff. I'm very excited and hopeful of that happening in my life as well. Um, so yeah, I'm not doing Christmas cards. Also, I don't like buying gifts for most people. I'm learning that at times when I get inspired, like it's so easy and so enjoyable for me to get a gift, and so I do. And if it doesn't feel enjoyable, I'm not going to do it. So if you don't get a gift from me, it's just because I didn't wanna cause myself that much pain, and if you're upset by that, that's okay. And, if you wanted me to go through a painful experience to show how much I care for you, maybe you and I should not be in that whatever type of relationship where there's the expectation that I give you a gift, because that's just not how I operate well. There's probably other things that I'd love to do for you this time of year, like, good phone call, a good message, would probably love to, have dinner with you, connect, things like that. But me going to a store where I get a lot of anxiety comes up. I start having memories of, childhood, like, of being somewhere where there's presents and other things and feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can afford this, or I don't know if my parents can afford that. Even though I grew up at a, very well off, very, upper middle class house, there's just this feeling like, oh boy, money's tight. There's not enough. Like, I guess if you really gotta have that, and I don't know. Um, so it brings that stuff up, and no, thank you. No, not for pleasing. I've done enough people pleasing. I know I'm a good person and you're a good person, so you don't need to people please. The other thing is, and it feels like we're just so goddamn important and that the world is going to stop if we don't do these things, right? If we don't show up for the holidays, if we don't send the Christmas cards, if we don't do the gifts. And as someone who has done this for many, many years, um, I'm still here, you're still here, the world goes on, and it actually opens up for more happiness, more peace, more well-being. It really is super duper beautiful. It really is amazing the possibility when it really is, it's cliche. It gets said a lot, but it is in the airline, in the case of a loss of cabin pressure, the oxygen mask will descend from the ceiling. And we do ask that even if you are traveling with a small child, you please put your mask on yourself before assisting them with theirs. Because when you're sucking for air and you're passing out, you can't do shit. And if you're in holiday overwhelm and you're just freaking out, and if one little thing causes you to go off and snap at somebody or cut somebody off, what's that you're putting into the world? You're putting in fear, you're putting in frustration, you're putting anxiety, you're putting in probably a little bit of hatred, you know, or maybe you're numbing out. You're just completely not feeling, you're going through the motions, you're just wasting time. Like, is that how you want to spend the holidays? Is just, to get through it, waiting for the sweet embrace of death for this all to be over? No, thank you. Like, we only get so much time, in this skin bag on this little ball of earth that's orbiting around a giant gaseous ball of plasma. So I want to make the best of it. I'm here to enjoy as many moments and inspire you for you to enjoy as many moments. And that's why I do this podcast. That's why I've been doing the Tuesday 20, which is every Tuesday, 12:05 p.m. Pacific time, just 20 minutes of some very simple, easy exercises where in that 20 minutes, you're going to feel so relaxed, you're going to feel energized, and you're going to be able to like really get in touch with like what you want. Because when you're in touch with what you want, you become an inspiration. Like, not only are you happy, but you're showing other people how to be happy. And isn't that like the ultimate gift that you could be giving somebody this holiday season, is to be spreading joy and cheer by your way of being, and not because of all this bullshit that you did that, yeah, maybe it creates some good Instagram photos, looks good on the Christmas card, but really, people going like, "Fuck, I gotta be with that person this holiday season." Like, they're always such an asshole. Like, yeah, those cookies are amazing, but oh my gosh, if I have to hear about all the bitching and complaining that they went through to make the cookies like I did last year and the year before, and oh my gosh, this person gets so drunk, and then they just drone on and on and on and about a political party I don't agree with. Like, what's there's no point. It's silly. It's silly. Be an inspiration, be an example, be a leader. Don't just do what everyone else is doing, because not everyone is listening to this podcast. Not everybody's doing what you're doing, and you can be an inspiration. You already are, and it's probably, if you can relax and think back on it, of all the kind moments that you've had leading up to this, and maybe the kindness you've received from someone else, and just touch in, like, take a breath and just feel that. Just feel how good that is. And maybe if it was, a thought of someone else, maybe just let that person know that you had that great feeling when you thought of them. Send a text message like, "Hey, I just remember that one time when we had that good conversation. I felt really good, and just thanks for being a friend. Thanks for being in my life." I bet you that'll be more touching and more appreciated than any gift, than any card, than, any showing up to something you don't want to be at, where people can tell you're not happy. They know. And if they don't know, it's because they're numbed out. And if you can't tell, it might be because you're numbed out. And so for this holiday season, I wish for you to feel amazing, to feel at peace, to feel love. And with that, I'm going to end this episode. So do ask you to subscribe. I'm trying out doing this live streamed on YouTube, so subscribe there. And also, if you're listening to this via your podcast player, subscribe there. great as highly as possible, whatever that is. Engage, tell your friends, comment. Let me know how you like this. So, I'm on all the major social media, Justin Wink, Ph.D. And if you want to, send me an email, the old email podcast at justinwink.com. Uh, so, wishing you the best of the best holidays so far. More great things to come. Thanks, everybody, and good day. All right, so I just ended the recording. So now it's just those of you here on the streaming service. So thank you. It was really great getting the chance to connect here. Just kind of, spur of the moment, just felt called. So maybe I'll do this again. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll plan it. Maybe I won't. Again, one of the ways to help with holiday overwhelm is to just not commit to as much. Just do less because you are enough. You don't need to do stuff to be anything. Just focus on the being, and things are gonna work out. They've always worked out. They always will. So thank you so much. Take care, and Merry Christmas, everybody. Goodbye.